Hello. So we have a question that has come in from Harsh, and what he asks is about the topic of anxiety, where he sees that more than him, a lot of people who surround him or the people who he interacts, his friends, are more anxious. And he sees that this anxiety eventually comes on to affect him too, because being in that very atmosphere, it is sapping. So firstly, Harsh, this is a very relevant question that you have asked, and it goes to a deeper level into the life that one leads. We have to look, in order to understand where this anxiety emanates from, into the lives of your friends, or in general people in society. Majority of them, what kind of a life are we leading, and are we going towards a momentum of resolution, or are we just adding more and more laden concepts which are making us confused, which are making us burdened? We had recently put out a Kabir Sahab Doha, which is मोरे मन समझ समझ के लाद लदनिया, which was in a way an attempt to address this very subject, that the concepts that we hold on, or the rights, the principles, and the things that we consider as inseparable from us, that we are supposed to do it, there is no other option, and there is the mechanism of society which will make us, or we can't question certain things, is a big reason behind these anxieties that we face. We have grasped, we have carried so much of load that we are not able to be a friend to our own selves. We consider so many sets of rules, so many principles, so many givens, and we are not able to happily or joyfully or in a state of sahajta carry them along with us. Now, as spirituality often says, that all of our problems arise out of a lack of knowledge of the self. Who are we? What are we supposed to do in a given scenario is determined from the knowledge of what will take us towards resolution, or in other words, what will take us towards trupti. Now, a person who has not paid any attention to their own selves, who has just taken for granted or taken things about themselves from external validation, or from what the others have said, that these things, a certain sequence of actions or work usually for them, and then they have taken it as a given that it will work on them too. Now, in such cases, when a person is reliant on their needs, or on their mechanisms are determined by external validation, then it becomes a very cause for a big cause for worry, because you have stopped understanding, you have stopped living with depth, you have really not seen life with your own eyes. Rather, they have been perceptions of a very shaded lens, something which might be convex, something which might be concave, but it will never give you the real picture. Because the thing is that if one stops living this borrowed existence, it means that you will fall into the pit, you will fall into the depth, which is not necessarily a dangerous place, but it is something which is quite scary to our minds, because we consider that if I have to look for myself, if I have to see these things, that means that I will have no support of the external validation that I carried with myself till now. Who will support me on this solitary journey? How will I make it through? How will I be able to achieve this vision? And in this very scaremongering tactics of the mind, we choose the other way, which is of convenience, which is of comfort, which is of a lack of questioning for ourselves. And when we stop questioning, we become a part of the herd. The herd mentality sets in. A person, like the sheep, is just going around and roaming the pastures in a robotic way. They have lost their own essence, they have lost their own touch with reality. They have become mechanized to an extent that they are like objects placed on a conveyor belt who go through life's beautiful stages not as something of beauty, but they follow it just as one after the another a stage is going on sequentially, as has been for times endless. And there is not much of a beauty in such kind of an existence. A person getting born and then becoming dead is something which is a given. It is not something extraordinary to see that happening. And even the things in between, they are not very unique per se. That a person maybe gets an education, maybe they get married, they might have kids, they then as they go through their ages they might get a retirement and then they might die. But what is the essence in such a life where you have not lived these stages out of your own intelligence? They have been simply the borrowed traits. And we see this very mentality of not questioning, not knowing oneself, and that's why we get into all these anxieties. We see that because we have not understood ourselves, we latch on to more and more concepts. We do not see that what is coming in front of us, by taking it, will it hamper us? Will it become a burden? Will it be something which is rather detrimental to us? And it's okay to still go into things. One has to live an exploratory life. But when one sees and when one goes into an experience or anything consciously, they are able to hold that vision. They are able to come through with that observation or that sakshi bhav, where they see something, if it is working for them or if it is not working for them. And if one keeps repeating something which is not working them robotically because it is working for the others, or they expect a different result from the same activity, then they are fooling themselves. A person who goes into the action consciously, who wants to live with a certain depth, will at least not make the same mistake again. And that in itself is the redemption. What we do is we do the same things and expect a different result. And in there, something of the spark in us dies. Because we do not listen to our intuition, because we do not listen to the values that we have seen as beneficial to us, because we do not give birth to the character which governs us. That is why we get misled on so many esoteric or so many robotic, repetitive, and unfulfilling paths. It is, again, I will repeat this, it is not bad to make mistakes. It is just that it is foolish to repeat the same ones. And this is something which is often seen because you come from an age group which is around 20 to 25. We see in this age group that friends or peers often fall into addictions, and this state of unconscious living where you do not see what you are really getting from whatever you consume or whatever we get into. May it be alcohol, may it be sex, may it be any other drug, or may it be an addiction of video games. We do not really try to explore what are we getting from the acts that we are committing. Is it a fulfillment, lasting fulfillment are we getting out of it? Or is it something which is very superficial, which will make you feel even more hollow than the very first time that you indulged in it, before the first time rather? Because you are going into it out of an expectation of getting a fulfillment, but are you really growing with it? Is it something which is giving you something in return, or is it just becoming your master? What you consume is in the end consuming you too. So that is not really, you yourself have lost your authority in this consumption. The consumer has become the consumed, and this very situation has been seen in many ages. It is not about your age group as well. People who do not learn from their youth, from the time which has been given to them, will keep committing the same mistakes till the end of their life and still not grow even a bit. And that growth could appear or could be a manifestation of different things. It need not be same for everyone. It will be a manifestation in different realms for each one of us. But what is that realm for you? How will you come to know? Who decides this? It is your conscious living, it is your effective decision making, it is your actions that have come out of some kind of a thought process which has been uplifting for you, which will take you ahead on this path. It will let you avoid all these mistakes, all the anxieties that come with it. And of course, we are not talking about the unavoidable anxieties that come as a part of the process of growing. We are talking about the repetitive ones, the cyclical ones, which are a result of our own unconscious actions. I really hope that you are able to transcend this. And if you have a follow up on this, you can certainly tell me. Thank you.